gosh. I feel
Hi.
like I know you more than I do. You know what I mean?
Same. First of all, I have to like you're the most prompt interview I've ever had. I love that. And I feel I miss you. I haven't seen you in so long and I feel like I know you well too.
I know. I think because, like, nowadays, I don't know, well, we'll talk about it. Like, all this, like, because you have this energy that really comes through, and, like, I pick up on it, like, on your IG and everything else. And I had a great time when I was on the Fred and Angie show, too. Like, that was so much fun, and meeting all of you.
It was so fun. And first of all, so many people have messaged me and said that they, heard you on our show and they are obsessed with you too now. Like I got more messages about this than I have for anything else because people are like they're and I'm like a huge fan. Like I'm a stage 5 singer. I'm just like always talking about you. I'm like, she's so great. So thank you for making the time. How are you guys doing?
Oh my gosh. I have a lot of time, like
Same.
like us
Same.
all.
How are you?
Good. No, we're good. We're, I have the kids, at home, so I'm homeschooling now, and I do my readings from home, just on the phone. So it's been really good. It's been different. I think we've all been experiencing it in different ways, and coming to terms with like what it means and like our own selves, and it gets deep sometimes, and then some days it's just like a nap, So I think we're all finding that balance.
Yeah, it definitely everyone is affected, I should say, in their own unique ways. I'm glad you can still work and that you have a teaching background, so I'm sure it's not too hard to teach your kids, but I guess it's different when it's your own kids, right?
Well, it's like math. I can't do math. So it's like, especially like 5th grade math, that's just not, I aged out in math around 3rd grade. So so I'm like, I can't help you anymore. So everything else I'm okay. Like I teach my little one how to read, I gotta do that. And then the other one, thank God, like my 5th grader, she's on her own. So, it's hard, but what have you been doing in your time off?
Okay, so it's kind of crazy. I have been shuffled around a little bit. So we were first in the studio, but Fred had gone to Mexico right before this. So he was quarantined while we were all in the studio. And then he came out of quarantine and we all were quarantined to either Angie's apartment or Fred's apartment. So we were doing the show from 2 places. And now we're all back in the studio. So thank God I have a sense of normalcy and I go to work.
Yes.
I see Angie's on here. Hi, Ange. I guess we're considered essential, which is wild. So luckily I do that. I do a lot of talking to myself, making jokes to myself. That's happening. And I do a lot of this, drinking.
Oh yeah, definitely. I do a lot of this. I have like my essential oils. Like it's
okay. Okay, so you're healthier than I am.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at the stage where I'm like talking to my Roomba and drinking wine at 9 a.m., but it's fine. I'm fine.
It's okay. Time doesn't matter anymore.
It's not real.
It's not.
So I don't even know if you know this, but like we connected in kind of a random way. So I definitely saw you on the Real Housewives of Orange County, and I didn't I obviously saw the episode, and I remember being horrified at how rude some of the girls were to you. I was like, horrified. So then like that was my own separate memory of you, kind of whatever, moved on. And then I made a post on Instagram about having really bad anxiety. And your husband, who's also your manager, correct?
Yes, right.
Okay, so he saw the post. I don't know how he saw it.
I don't know.
It was so random. And he messaged me and he was like, my wife, deals with a lot of anxiety, she's an empath, because I think I posted about being an empath, and it was really sweet. Like he was like, she deals with this too, you might be interested in seeing what she does, or she has this group on Facebook, and I didn't realize that it was you. I didn't connect that till way later.
That's funny. Yeah, like, because my husband definitely speaks empath because he has to deal with me. So, like,
he has to.
He sees the other ones and he's like, aw, because you're indigo and, like, I'm indigo, like, which is an aura color. And so, like, it's like he is able to, like, he understands, like, what anxiety means. It's not just like, I'm stressed out. It's like, no, it's like, I'm debilitated. Like, there is a difference.
Like so he he shared that you struggled with that, and I just like looked at your page and I still wasn't connecting that you were the one I saw on the Real Housewives, but I was like, I love her vibe, I'm obsessed with her, we need to have her on the show. It was just like a feeling thing, like, which I'm sure you go off of too. And then I met you and I was even more in love, and you were so
Oh.
sweet. And I have to say, we have like a couple skeptics on the show. I would say probably Fred and a little bit Rufio were, you know, like they're open if something blows them away. But, and I just, the way that you read them, and then later you read Angi just via a photo.
Right. Oh, right.
Was so accurate that I think everyone was so blown away. So I want you to, your gift has two parts. So like, what are your gifts and how did you figure out you had them? And just like, what's your story with that?
All right, yeah. So I see colors around people, which is basically just like everybody has an energy around them. You'll feel it like vibes. Like some people, you know, people feel different. Like it's just some people like we'll call it different things, but it's a vibe. I see it in color, and I've always seen it. I never quite knew what it was good for, you know, until I started teaching, and I taught middle school for a while, and it's like, oh, like, okay. And then I associate it with like, oh, these, you know, greens learn this way and reds need games and purples will talk all day. So like stuff like that. So I would use it and I'm like, okay, this means something. And then like it got deeper, you know, because then like, you know, kids have issues and then their parents come in and then you see how it intermingles or how they're affected by their parents. And then it was like a lot more messages. So I think like anything with our lives, like when we find our path, it takes time, you know, and it takes certain like catalysts along the way. And, you know, long story short, I couldn't teach anymore. I had to do this because like I found my own authentic path. And it's like, you know what, my authentic path is helping other people find their authentic path in life, which has a lot to do with your aura colors. And just understanding like what you are helps you define what your motivations are versus like what you're picking up from other people. So that's kind of how I do. And like when I do like a session with somebody, it's kind of like identifying that and patterns and things that aren't yours, but you think are, and things that are yours that you've been hiding. And like just, you know, bringing it to the surface so you can deal with it in a nutshell.
So I know it's so hard to like summarize it.
I know. It's like, yeah.
In terms of, because I listen to your podcast, which I love, and we'll plug that. But in terms of the aura color, from my understanding is you start to develop it around 3, but you feel like your aura color is kind of a tool that you use to get through life. And you say that when you do your soul contract, which I don't want to get too deep on everyone, but you choose your aura color and then it comes out at age 3. So you, up until age 3, you know, it's kind of fuzzy. You see energy around little babies and then they kind of pick their main, I know everyone usually has 2, and they pick their main color that they wear to get through life as a tool.
Yes, right? You said it. Yeah. Okay. It's like it's a lens in which you view, like we all see the same, we all live in the same reality, except we don't, because we all perceive it differently based on our energy.
Totally. Yeah. So then, okay. So I know that you have another gift as well, which I know you're an empathic psychic, which means that you feel the emotions of either the people that you're reading, correct, or the loved ones that you're connecting to for them. Is that, so that's like another gift that you have on top of the aura thing.
Right.
It's
because
wild.
It's, you know, like I'm empathic. I'm an empath. So like when I do a session, I kind of step into somebody's energy and I don't know, I start feeling their feelings, but it works for dead people too. So like the thing is like I'll pick up, I work off photos. So if I see a photo of somebody who's passed and they're willing to connect, like I'll start just getting messages, you know, but it's all, with me, it's all emotions. Like I get emotions and messages and things like that. And yeah, that's a whole other thing. So it's kind of like, that's why I named it like spiritual life guidance, because it's a hodgepodge of stuff that like you need to hear. And like what I tell people, like when in a session with me, it's not like I'm saying anything to you that you're not already like encountering in the world, you know. Correct. Like it's like, oh, my friend said that to me, or I was thinking that, or everybody always says that about me, or like whatever. It's like, right, you know, like it's sometimes it's like when a stranger says it, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, like, okay, I should listen to that a little bit more for closure, for helping you or push along the way.
So then I know that, and Andrew just asked, do our aura colors change? And I know that like you can also be wearing an inauthentic aura color, which you've talked to us about. So tell us about that. Like, do you gradually, go to a better aura color, or do you, I mean, I know you can be like living a life that's not authentic to you. So how does that work?
Like, I see a lot of people who feel like, and inauthentic doesn't mean fake. That's like a big thing. It's more like,
Not
like
what
you
you're
feel
meant
like,
to.
yeah, like for example, I'll see a lot of blue people, who are kind of more like they feel other people's feelings as their own, so they end up being pleasers or whatever. They'll
Okay.
end up like wearing yellow because yellow is a more organized color. So when I see somebody who's blue wearing yellow, and I can tell it's not supposed to be there, it looks like an out of place knickknack. I don't even know how to describe it when I see it. It's like, that's not supposed to be there. But basically, like, and then the messages come, and this is just a general example, but I'll be like, oh my gosh, you're trying to be more organized than you authentically are. Like, there's different ways to be in the world or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like people will wear other colors because they don't feel good enough being who they are. So it's kind of like wearing a mask or something. But then to Angie's question, yeah, like I see you have your own colors. Usually they stay the same, but they get like better looking as hopefully as you kind of go through life. But like life,
That's cool.
yeah, but like life hits you. Like, there's some years it's like, okay, that's gonna be a bad aura year or whatever. Like, okay. Because sometimes you gotta lean on one over the other to get through something. But for the most part, you have two, and they change and they shift a little as we all do as we grow.
Wow. Okay. I'm just like processing. I can listen to you for hours. So something I wanted to talk to you about that I didn't really last time is, do you feel, I'm like, and the rest of the show as well, Fred and Angie are huge mental health advocates. And it's not a secret that I suffer from, a whole hodgepodge of mental health stuff. But what I want to know from you is, do you feel like there is a link? Because I've read a lot of articles saying that people who are intuitive have more anxiety. Do you feel like there's some sort of link to anxiety, depression, I know, like in terms of empaths, you're taking an energy and then you don't know if it's yours or not. Like, what do you, on the mental health front, what would you say about people that are gifted in those ways?
Absolutely. I mean, I see, and I'm not a therapist, and I tell it all the time.
Me neither.
Yeah, like, please go to them, but the way I see it with colors is every color has a tendency to wear like mental illness in a different way. The way I see with empaths, like purples, blues, indigos, and turquoises, the way I see with the empaths is that they'll absorb a lot. And it's almost like they can be whipping boys for other people, if that makes sense. Like, I'll be your, so it's almost like they attract, I hate saying this, but like they'll attract abuse because they have this thing where they're like, you know what, if it makes you feel better to hurt me, and it's very subconscious, then do it. Because like when the person that you're close to starts doing that to you, then all of a sudden you're like, well, at least they feel better and I can handle it because I'm a healer or whatever. Once you see that's been going on, it's like, because then you're like, oh my God, like this gift is not for people who just want to dump on me. Like, this empath gift is for people, I give and they pay it forward. That's what it's for. It's not for like stars or pat on the backs either. It's just so that, like, that's why I see a lot of empaths like working with kids or people, patients, or people animals, or people that say thank you in different ways, But yes, I do see a correlation highly between people who are very intuitive and mental illness. It's a self-destruction thing. Like, I'll take it on so you don't have to.
Yeah. And then it makes me think of, I know I sent you the whole Enneagram thing, which is a whole nother thing. We need to do different things, but like, yes, the 2 thing.
Yes.
I was like, I feel attacked. Okay, so I need to touch on the fun stuff too. I know that you are obviously on The Real Housewives. I know you're a Bravo fanatic like me. What can you tell us about, like, who was your favorite person to read? Maybe favorite Real Housewife, maybe favorite celeb. I know you read Stassi.
Yeah, I read Stassi Schroeder. Yeah. I mean, I was on her podcast. She's purple and yellow, and she's amazing. Like, she's exactly like what you see on the show is like her in person. And like, I've read like Caitlin Bristow, from
I love
The
her.
Bachelorette. She's amazing. She's purple with pink. Again, I feel like people who like would connect to they're exactly the same. Like, you can tell, like, if they're genuine or not. Like, these people are very genuine. But as the housewives, like, honestly, aside from Megan King Edmonds, like, who's my friend and I love her forever, Tamra, and then she's not on anymore. And I know she gets a bad rap on the show.
I love Tamra. I get the best energy from Tamra.
Yeah, she was so nice to me. And like
Dolores too, right? How was Dolores?
Yeah, New Jersey, Dolores, she's indigo like us, you know. So she's like so real, so kind. I mean, she'll do anything for you. Like, she's very and like her and the dogs, you know, like she'll do anything for rescue dogs. So yeah, like Dolores and Tamara, like these people. But I read like Shannon Bedore, you know, and she's a trip. And like, I think there's, you know, it's interesting for me to read different people who have different, like, because I think people in the news or people, celebrities, like, they are just characterizations or personifications of the color even more than I see on a daily or whatever. So it's like, whoa, there's a reason why they're in the spotlight, you know. It's a lot.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there either. I just get so excited about Bravo. I'm like,
Bravo. I know. Me too.
I just like all day, every day. So you brought up Megan, and I know she's your close friend, so don't say whatever, you know, if there's something you don't want to say, but her relationship has been in the news.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Are you someone that she calls for help or advice, or do you give her advice on that situation, or are you like only if she asks, or how do you approach that?
Yeah, I'm her friend, you know. So like we text every day, you know, like she is a real person and she's been really good to me too, you know, helping me with things that I need help with, and I'll help her with things. You know, I think she's somebody, what I love about Megan is that she's growing, and like anything she sees in herself, she has no problem tackling it. And I take such inspiration from people like that. Like, you know, she's been through trauma and like her world shattered overnight. And like, man, she went, you know, she felt her feelings, but she's moving forward. And it's, for me, like, she inspires me. But yeah, we talk, and like, you know, I've helped her with things, you know, intuitively. So I think of like objective opinions about, or objective messages about things, you know, and then I can be a friend too, which is just like, ew, you know, like,
it's gotta be
to you. Yeah.
It's gotta be hard to separate because, you know, I mean, I have friends, I think she's on here, who are therapists, or my mom's, it's like hard to like, you know, sometimes my friend Lori, who is a therapist, will say the therapist answer, and then she'll go, oh, sorry, I need to give you the friend answer. But like, I feel like if I was, you know,
so
if we were besties, I would want your like intuitive, I'd be like, give me a reading.
I do that though for my friends. I'm like, all right, you want it? This is like my straight channeling. Do not hold me accountable for what's about to come out of my mouth. And then I go back to like myself, like, or whatever. You know what I mean? Because like spirit is very direct, and they don't like sugarcoat it. And so, you know, you don't want to get blamed for it as a friend. But people who are really your friends can hear stuff like that, you know, and know that you come from love. And people who aren't, you know, then, you know, they're not like in the circle, you know. They
have to love you no matter what.
Mm-hmm. And if they ask for it, you give it. If they don't want it, then okay, I'll say it once. You got to say something once if you're a friend. Like, I'll say it once, but I'm not saying it anymore, you know. But yeah, I do have to separate, you know, I have to preface it before I give advice a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I would always be wondering, like, is spirit telling her that, or is this
no, I preface it, because I'll be like, I feel, well, this isn't from me, this is from spirit. Like, I'll say it, but then but most of my friends I don't have to censor myself around, so they kind of know me by now.
That's a friend.
Yeah.
That's a friend.
Absolutely.
So something else I love about following you and your Instagram, which I will have you plug, is that you do readings of celebrities or celebrity couples.
Yes.
So two that come to mind today, which I think I told you about, are Kristen Cavallari and Cutler, and then Gigi and Zayn. I want to know what you think about those two couples. What do you think?
So Kristen has a purple and yellow aura, and like, I don't watch the show or anything. I did like a post about this on my Instagram just because like, and he's like green and blue, but he's got this chameleon.
Yeah, what is he? Because I don't know.
You know, and just how you just said that, like, that's that, I call it like chameleon green, like they can blend. So
something's up with that guy.
Like what? Like what is he? Like what? That's what it feels like. That's what he said. Like when you feel a vibe on someone, it's like, what is you? It's hard to pin them down or something.
Right.
And so I feel like what happened is they grew apart, And anything, I think it's all going to hit the fan, honestly. I think a lot more is going to come out. And
I totally agree.
And I feel like she kind of like, I don't know, like, you know, like when there's a hole in the wall and you kind of crappy, dry, you know, like plaster it up and you move on. I think like that's what their marriage was for like a while. And now it's just like, and now we're going to see like probably a more, like a version of her that's a little bit more free-spirited, less heavy or something like that. And I'm happy for her. I mean, I think it's good that they took their time up, that they're splitting up. Like, I think that's it's sad because they have children. But yeah, but he's chameleon green. That's why it's, yeah, you're like, what is his deal? Like, that's kind of a thing. And then Gigi, it's funny, you picked two, she's yellow and purple too.
Interesting.
Yeah, and Zane, right? That's his name?
Yes, yeah.
He's blue and purple.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Yeah. So the thing with her, okay, so yellows like to control a little bit. So you're a little yellow. You know?
And my outer is yellow, right? Yeah. I was going to say.
Indigo, but you have your yellow parts, you know?
Oh, yeah. Everyone in my life would say I'm controlling. That's fine.
Well, it's not too bad. It's just a little bit, like, or whatever. So I feel like she wants to fix him, make him a little bit more reliable. I don't really know who he is. I'm terrible. I know who she is. But, like, I get with him, like, it's a lot of passion between them. That's, like, the purple connection. A lot of passion. I feel like there's a part of her that wants to free fall into that and, like, really. And, man, I want them to work out because she's pregnant, you know? And I hope she does. I hope they do. And the future's free will, you know? But I feel like she definitely likes things the way she likes them. And I feel like he can get very rebellious. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, they've already been on and off for a while. He was in One Direction, if you actually didn't know who he was. But, they've been on and off a lot. And they were kind of recently back on. And then she announced that she's 20 weeks pregnant, which, you know, it's been a while.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I get this. It's so funny because everything you say, I'm like, this is my vibe on these people. And, I know them. I mean, I don't, obviously.
I don't either. But, like, I think when we look at celebrities, we're like, what part of them, reflects myself a little bit? Like, I think that's why we're interested in people in the spotlight. And I think she's interesting because we see such a successful woman and somebody who's very, she's very together and very professional at such a young age. And she's accomplished so much and she's very composed. And it's weird to see her pregnant, I guess, because we're like, oh.
She doesn't even look pregnant, by the way. Like, that's my quarantine
she
body.
Won't ever. And she'll just have this baby and she'll be back, like, on the catwalk. And we'll all be like, how does any of this happen?
Right.
But that's not her fault. That's just that's for blessing.
Her whole family, they're supermodels. Her mom, Yolanda, supermodel.
Love her. When she was on Beverly Hills, like, I don't know. There was something, she's so beautiful.
Yolanda.
With her lemons. Yeah.
Oh my God. She was like, I wanted to marry her. I'm like, you're like making things all day and like gardening. Like, I'll just never be that, but
no, but her fridge, remember her fridge? Like, do you remember that?
It's on Twitter. Her fridge was see-through. Yes. Her fridge was iconic.
It was.
Wow.
I was obsessed with that.
Oh my God. Yeah, same. Are you watching everything on Bravo right now? Like Summer House or?
No, I don't watch that. Okay. I watched
Housewives.
a lot of Netflix, like Love is Blind. I started Too Hot to Handle, and I was like, should I continue? I don't know. Should I? Have you watched that?
My sister's watching it. She's in high school. She says I have to. So you know what? When I get, hold on one second. My friend said, are there certain genders more likely to be a certain
Good question. Oh, that's a great question. That's true. Yeah.
They are.
Yeah, like I see a lot of like green little girls, for example, but I don't see like a lot of green women. And I see like a lot of yellow little boys, but I don't see a lot of yellow men. And it's because society
tells them not to.
Horrible. Yeah. So what happens is like, I don't know, like it's just kind of like when girls are too smart. Greens are very smart. So when a girl is like, don't be smart, that's not feminine. Like I hope we're getting past that a little bit. But what happens is like the green girls will turn into yellow. So it's like smart but domesticated. Or the yellow boys who are like really concerned with are my shoes clean enough and my shirt ironed because they're yellow. Sad. Like that's girly to care about that when it has nothing to do with if he's like what he's interested in. You know, he's just a little bit. he'll turn into more green, and then they get like kind of like weird about their clothes, but they're called, you know, it's more manly or whatever. So that was a good question. Yeah,
that bums me out.
It's sad.
That makes me really sad. I feel like we need to do more of these because I feel like I have 20 more things I need to ask you, but they yell at me if I go too long.
Okay.
Selfishly, I want to ask, so so last time you saw me, I was in a relationship. I was in a completely different, was it a year ago?
Yeah, it was it was over the summer.
Okay.
Wait, no, it was March. It was a year ago. You're right.
Literally a year ago. So I was in like a completely different place. So I want to ask you publicly in front of everyone, am I still the same aura color, which I think you confirmed that I was, indigo and yellow. Yeah. And are you getting any vibes? Like, am I going to be locked in this apartment forever? You predicted something else like off the air that was true, and then now I'm like confused about which I need to ask you about. But
okay, you'll have to ask me after.
Yeah, I will.
So when I look at your aura, it's funny because like it's not funny, it's just the way it is. It's like
it's probably funny.
Like your indigo is like this, it's like this core, and then your yellow kind of is like around like a. So I feel like with you, you've totally like dropped control in your life except for certain places. So, and you do have.
Do you mean lost control? Because yeah. I have no control.
But I feel like you're accepting it and like you're feeling whatever feelings or whatever. I feel like you've absorbed a little bit of purple from some friends or something, because I feel like you have some sort of very close girl squad or something around you that's like female energy, like, and they're probably purple or something. Because I get you.
What does purple mean?
Oh, so purple, like. You're absorbing it. You're more indigo, but like indigos will absorb a color sometimes to get through something. Purple's like spontaneous, like it's like empathic, but like kind of like you take a step back a little bit. Like watching a movie. Like if I'm watching a stressful movie, like I can watch it and I'm very invested, but I can take a step back too. And that's like how purples usually are in situations. Like if people are fighting or whatever, they can like and then say something, and they can block themselves off from caring too much how the other, that like that. So I feel like in your life, you've kind of you're trying to have some perspective a little bit and try, I feel like you're in a place of yes in a lot of ways, like let's do this or let's do that or like whatever. And I feel like for you, that's helping you kind of move past some of these humps that I feel like you've been in with probably like relationship stuff. But you feel like you're on the move that way and like you're ready for it. But the indigo is like very kind of like, it's darker. So it just means I feel like you're dealing with a lot right now, like emotionally. Which we should probably talk about it like privately, because then like I hold back. I don't, but like,
yeah,
I want you to,
really get it. Okay. So Jason, my coworker, just said we can go as long as we want. So, we can keep going if you have the time, or are your kids running? Okay, so what do you, I love that your purpose, or you feel like, or you say your purpose is to help people live their most authentic lives and like to notice people's gifts. So how do people get more in touch with that? Like what can you, because everybody wants a week reading from you, but you're booked till 2021, I'm being told in my DMs. Like, I don't know, do you have advice on that? Or
and like that's why my podcast, I try to get it out there, like the word like out there a little bit, like publicly, so people can. So what I like to narrow it down to what motivates you, and like really when you ask yourself that question, separate it from the people around you and separate it from, and this is actually a really good time because we don't have a ton of distractions right now. Like we're very much like sitting in our own selves. So you have to ask yourself like, what motivates me? From there, you'll kind of figure out what color you are, honestly. And I put all this stuff on my highlights or whatever, if you want to, like, you can check it out.
I love that.
Yeah. But like, for example, like red people, right? So like red people, they're motivated by like competition or winning or challenge or things like, and that's like another thing that gets shamed a lot, especially if you're a red woman in our society, like, oh, you're too competitive or this or that. But like, if that motivates you, that's good, like use that. Like indigos and blues, like they're motivated by like, where can I take this energy and invest it in the best good? Like really, like where can I invest myself where it explodes instead of takes away from me. So that's a big thing. Like, you know, instead of calling this dramatic friend all the time that always has the same hamster wheel of issues that never stops, like maybe I can invest that time with something, you know, that pays it forward. Because like that's going to actually pay you back in a way, like kind of making, and it helps you manifest and stuff like that. So so ask me like what motivates me. That's like a big thing to ask yourself, because like if you know the answer, oh my God, that's a terrible freeze frame. Okay. If you know the answer to that, it was like, it's really bad. You will figure out exactly what, like, you can take little small steps to get more authentic.
Okay. So where do you find your motivation? Look for that and then go towards that.
Yes.
Somebody in the comments asked about past lives, which I am obsessed with. Do you read past lives? What are your feelings on past lives?
So with past lives, like I don't do past life readings, you know, like I know there's some psychic I don't do any of those. Like I always say like I've had like a lot of people will have like visions or attractions or things, like sometimes in a reading they'll come up. But you know where I get past lives the most? In relationships. Like when I'm doing a reading and I see like you and like your husband or you and your sister or your mother, I can get like past life complexities. And they don't always show me details, you know, but I can get like, okay, no, you've done a lot. Or twin flames, for example, like, which are like,
yes. Can you talk about twin flames, soulmates versus, and aren't there 3, right?
Yeah, there's like twin flames, there's soulmates, and there's like karmic connections. Now, you can go and Google this, and there's like a million different interpretations.
I know.
Like,
I'm
blow
like,
your
I want to ask you everything.
So I try, because I was a middle school teacher. I try to like simplify this stuff for us. So, what's a soulmate? A soulmate is somebody like, and you can have more than one soulmate in your life. And the biggest thing about soulmate is like they feel like home. And when you meet them, all of a sudden you feel just very comfortable with them. You've just had a lot of past lives with them. And on the other side, when you're writing your soul contract, which is kind of like what you're going to do this lifetime, like you knew each other were going to play a part in it. So it's kind of like a soul recognition. So they're okay. Twin flames. Now, not everybody has a twin flame, and you don't have to feel bad about it if you've never had one, but this is what a twin flame does to you. They like really screw you up. And what they do is like you'll have dreams about them. Like you could not talk to them for 10 years. Like you're still having dreams about them and they feel real. Like you and your twin flame will have like, I don't know, like out of nowhere, like when you're just kind of like thinking about them, like they might like a picture on your social media.
Oh yeah, that's
something so weird. There is like this, because you have telepathic communication with the twin flame. A twin flame, like the theory is, spiritually, I guess, that it's the other half of you, like soul energy.
So you have one twin flame.
You just have one, and it's like throughout not just this lifetime, like the story arc for twin flames is many lifetimes. So like if you meet a twin flame in this lifetime, it can be like extremely stressful, and like honestly 9 times out of 10 it's not going to work out, and one's always the runner and one's always the chaser. And then like by the time, let's say you're the chaser, right? By the time you stop being the chaser and you move on, you find your soulmate, all of a sudden they're like, oh, I'm ready, or like whatever. But then they're not quite, you know. And the passion level, like physical, like just like the meeting of the bodies, it's not just on one level. Like you feel like it's a spiritual situation, like anything that happens with it, but it never works out. Like there's always like obstacles. So those are like twin flames. And and there's like weird signs too with a twin flame. Like my sister drives the same car as his mother. Like stupid stuff.
Yeah, just things that.
My phone number is his birthday, or like just weird stuff like that. And
my boss is like trolling me right now in the comments.
Jack Daniels is my
yeah. Okay, so he made a kind of a decent point though. So more than one soulmate. So my friends can be my soulmates, right?
Yes.
So I have one twin flame. I have multiple soulmates throughout my life though. Yes. Okay.
And then karmic connection, they're just kind of like people that you like instantly connect with, but it doesn't ever last super long. Like it's like friends for a season or friends for a reason, you know, like that kind of stuff. So like let's say it's your roommate in college and you guys were so close and it's like you were so like bonded or whatever, and then it's just kind of like, I don't know, like you'll catch up once in a while, you know, like kind of that kind of stuff, or even like a relationship. It's like very powerful, but it's not, I don't know, it doesn't have like remnant energy where you're stressed out about it. Like it was powerful and it changed you, but it's not like a twin flame where you're like seriously traumatized forever about it.
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Like
so I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go after this question, but
okay.
The soul contract thing, because I hear you talk about it on the podcast and I have like all these theories, but like I feel like that kind of aligns with my belief of like how things go. And I these little kids, and they're talking about their past lives and like how they chose their parents. Like,
oh yeah.
So your belief or what you preach is that before you're born, you sign a soul contract and then you pick your aura color. Is that like how it works?
It's like a whole thing. Like and I feel like there's checkpoints. Like nothing's written in stone. But I feel like because you have to have free will, because the whole point is to make the tough choices. So you have like checkpoints, and you know, you hopefully like kind of check them off as you go along. Sometimes you'll feel it when you do, you know, like deja vu, or you'll have like, I don't know, like something really hits you strong. You're like, oh my God, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like a sense of truth.
Oh my God, deja vu. I want to ask you about deja vu. I want to ask you about everything.
So many theories about that. I think it's like when you I feel personally, it's like when you are hitting off, you're like kind of your soul contract is aligning with what you're doing. And it's kind of like, ooh, I'm on the right path, like soulfully.
Okay. Yeah. So your soul contract before and then through life, you're kind of going along the path that was not like pre-decided, but kind of
kind of like loosely laid out, and you can make choices, but some people don't finish their soul contracts. Like they make, you know, they get in, you know, emotional comas, or they just stop growing, and like we all know those people. So that's that. Like they just stop, you know, they like choose not to, and then like you kind of, and then you know, then you can grow out of them sometimes, you know, because like if you're still growing and they stop, like you guys, it doesn't work anymore between the two of you, like as friends or lovers or anything, really.
I could never be high with you because I would just be like, whoa.
My God.
Hurts my brain.
I know.
Whoa. Is there anything that you feel like you want to say, need to say, teach our listeners, your followers, anything?
I think, just like, thanks for having me on. I feel like if you get anything out of this, it's just like really take a moment and, you know, feel a feeling without like changing it or shaming it or moving it around, because it's really just about you. And like that's when you kind of do that, you connect with spirit, which is in you. So and that's like living authentically, just aligning with who you are inside.
What's your parting advice for getting through COVID and lockdown and being with your feelings? Because
it's hard. Avoid toxic positivity. Like not every day is a great day, you know, like you don't have to like learn how to do a yoga handstand. It's okay, you know, like you know, just try not to eat all the snacks. I get it, you know.
How do I not eat all the snacks?
They're such good snacks. Like it's our only joy. No, but really, like just pay attention to how you feel and notice where it's uncomfortable and save that information for later.
Oh my God, you're the best. I could do this for hours. So plug your Instagram, your podcast, your website, everything for them.
So at Mystic Michaela is my Instagram, and my podcast is Know Your Aura with Mystic Michaela.
Okay. And then if people want to book with you, just like no such luck because you're amazing.
I have a wait list. And then if you go to like my Facebook group, Mystic Michaela Spiritual Family, like sometimes I have like, I'll do pop-up events, or like I'll try to notify you. Pre-quarantine, I would have more pop